Starting from release 2.0, all ATK repositories are now equipped with the new release mechanics, and this release mechanics is fully implemented around actions. Also, these mechanisms can be executed by any person in community who have sufficient permission to do that, which means pretty much any maintainer, not only me. So I hope that will relieve me in any position of release manager, and we could have more frequent releases. So the rest of this video will explain how to perform a release, and I will show it with the ATK UI repository, but this can be reproduced with pretty much any repository out there. The workflow itself is stored in these files over here. The first one I'll be talking about is release drafter, and then I will talk about bundler, and finally the zip file, which to be honest actually is not working yet, but I'll adjust it. So let's start with the process of drafting a new release, and this is really easy to do. So you have to be in the branch develop, simply type name of the new release like that in this format, and once you create this branch, it will be automatically picked up by the action. You see the bundler over here starts executing, and I'll talk you through the steps which are going to be performed in here. So it starts by pulling out the new branch for the release branch. It would also be performing some changes within this branch and committing them back. Here it identifies the version which we are releasing by looking at the Git reference, sending it as a variable called version, and anywhere here it is going to reference this version. The first thing it does is replaces the GS deliver URL in the file app.php, followed by the replacement of the version tag, so that any application that includes ATK UI can check which version it's currently running against. This is the action to commit something back. This is a commit message, and you'll see here that it also creates a new branch called CDN update. Right, so as you see, we have run into the error over here. Some of the dependencies were not installed, and that's actually a good opportunity. I will show you how to repeat the steps. In this case, when we were building the GS files, I think I forgot to do npm install, which I'm going to add, and now I want to rerun the whole process, and hopefully so hopefully it will work. So here I'm pushing directly to develop branch, simply because I'm debugging the scripts yet. They should be working, should be in the working conditions. But if you're willing to debug them yourself, what you could do is create a branch and adjust the condition over here. So this will actually trigger on your specific branch, and then every time you create this new branch, it will execute, and then you can delete the branch, create it again, just as I'm doing it with the release branches. Alright, so going back here, I can find the branch which failed. That's the one, so I'm going to delete that, and we'll simply create it again, and no harm done. And that's our that's action should be executing once again. While still running, I'll explain to you why exactly these actions needed here in this release step. So well, obviously we're changing the CDN destination for the code every time we release. I can show you by going to pull request now. and showing you this new automatically generated pull request, which says update CDN to 2.03, and it created by the bot. And if you look here, that's actually what's going on. However, if I click the link here, this will not work because this tag has not been fully merged. So I'm just gonna leave it for now. Also, I'm reviewer over here, which is by default. But again, technically anyone can review that. All right, so my previous fix actually managed to address the problem with the GS building, and the files are compiled successfully. And the second pull request has just been created while I was recording, and that's about releasing the version 2.03 into master. Okay, I can also show you what exactly changed since the previous release. This is relatively minor update over here. So yeah, other than steps in the merge request, this will always appear in the releases. As you can see, we are unignoring some of the CSS files like maps and minified files, and they also are compiled as in a pipeline and added into Git, and obviously you see the changes over here. So if I merge that, then these files will be contained inside the master branch, and also it includes a couple of items over here for me to do. So yes, I reviewed the changes. Next I'm going to merge this into branch. Yeah, typically you'll see a lot of changes for the release, and they can be squashed as we merge into master. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to show is that if you go to branch master and see the commits, you'll see only the major ones like releasing 2.0.0, 2.0.1, 2.0.2, and so on. So these are the big commits with the releases. Okay, the last step is tagging, so I'll have to go to the releases sections over here, and there should be this draft. This draft actually is pre-populated automatically by the release drafter workflow. It's over here, pretty straightforward. It also has a file called release drafter config, and it just simply allows us to categorize things, like in here, putting documentation enhancements into a separate category like this. All right, once I'm ready to proceed with a new release, just hit edit and delete this one and type we're releasing 0.3, and we're releasing it from the master. And that's pretty much it. So there were not many changes in this pull request. So I'm going to publish the release. And now that this is done, I can come back to the pull request over here and double check if the CDN is working. And yep, it works now. So I can also merge this one. And this will affect the develop branch, and we'll start using the most recently compiled JavaScript files. All right, so what I haven't showed you is the creation of the zip file, because it's not ready yet. However, if you go to the repository called Agile Toolkit Bundle, and again, it probably will take a while for the composer to update. But if you run composer update in here, it will update the local file. Let me just see how that works. Okay, so that's my local installation of Agile Toolkit bundle. Yeah, okay, cool. So it did update to the new ATK version over here. So hopefully if I refresh it over here, it will correctly load the new GS file, which was filing before. And I should be, yep, it's also working fine. So I can edit records and records. Everything looks perfect now. And yeah, if I do run build, it will compile and output the zip file. Right, so that's the file right now. So this is for now, this has only been done locally, and I'm now moving it into the pipeline. The challenge for me here is that I have to wait until Composer actually notices the new version 2.0.3 and execute it all in then, so there might be some manual wait involved in here. That's pretty much it about the releases, so thanks for listening.